Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Hub. I'm Larry.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're your hosts for another deep dive into the world of AI.
That's right.
Always a pleasure to be back with you all. And you know me, I'm always psyched to see how this tech is, how it's changing things up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today we're tackling a big one.
A really important one, yeah.
Mental health in schools.
I've spent my whole career looking at how technology, especially AI, can kind of help boost well-being. And in education in particular, this topic is right up my alley.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So to kick things off,
Quickly.
I came across this stat. I was blown away.
Okay.
Nearly 1 in 5 high schools in the U.S.
Wow.
don't even have a single counselor on staff. And that's according to the Department of Education. And
It's a huge problem.
it's a big problem.
I mean, teenagers, they're dealing with so much these days, and school, on top of it all, it's already a stressful environment. Without the right support, mental health challenges.
Yeah.
They can impact their grades, relationships, you name it.
It's a domino effect.
Basically their whole lives. Yeah.
And so that's where this company comes in, Sonar Mental Health.
Okay.
And they've developed this chatbot called Sunny.
Uh-huh.
It's like a well-being companion students can text with it.
Interesting.
But here's the twist.
Okay.
Sunny isn't just some AI spitting out, canned responses.
Right.
There's a team, an actual team of humans, psychologists, social workers,
Wow.
reviewing the messages and sending replies.
That's fascinating.
So it's AI and humans working together.
That's what's really interesting here. It's not AI versus humans. It's AI with humans.
Yeah.
And that human touch is so important when you're dealing with something as sensitive as mental health.
Absolutely. And, from what I read in the article, they were really emphasizing that they're not trying to replace therapists with Sunny.
Yeah, that makes
They're
sense.
trying to actually connect students with a real therapist if it's needed.
Right, yeah.
So this whole approach, this model, it makes you wonder, could this be a model for how we deal with, this mental health crisis in schools? What are your initial thoughts?
Well, it's definitely promising, especially when you think about how stretched schools are these days.
Yeah.
But, there are definitely things to consider, like how do you actually make sure that something like Sunny is effective? And how do you make sure that it's actually reaching all the students who need it, not just a select few?
Yeah, those are really good points.
Yeah.
And what about privacy? We're talking about, teenagers sharing personal stuff.
Oh, absolutely. That's a big one.
How do we know that their data is being protected?
Transparency is key, right?
Yeah.
Schools, parents, students, everyone needs to be on the same page about how the data is being used and what safeguards are in place.
For sure. Seems like there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, there is.
We've got this innovative approach, but then we also need to think about the ethics, the effectiveness, the practical side of it all.
It's true. And, it's not just about Sunny either, right?
Okay.
This whole idea of using AI in mental health, it's new. There are other apps and platforms out there,
Right.
and we're only going to see more pop up in the future.
It's crazy to think about the possibilities
Absolutely.
and also, the potential pitfalls.
Right. It is exciting, but it's also a little bit of a Wild West out there.
Yeah.
So we need to be asking the tough questions
For sure.
now to make sure that this technology is used responsibly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we're at a crossroads, right?
Yeah.
We've got this powerful technology, tons of potential to do good, but we got to be careful,
Absolutely. I'm all for innovation, but we can't just throw AI at the problem and
Right.
hope for the best.
Yeah, especially when it comes to something like mental health.
Yeah.
That's where research is so important. We need to be studying these AI-powered tools and really figuring out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, what the downsides are.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in the hype,
Oh, yeah.
This AI chatbot can solve all our problems,
Right.
But is it that simple?
Right. Probably not.
Probably not.
And that's why it's so important to involve everyone in this conversation.
Yeah.
Educators, mental health professionals, policymakers, tech developers. we all need to be at the table.
And the students.
Oh, for sure.
They're the ones who are going to be using these tools.
Absolutely. Their voices need to be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to make sure that these AI solutions are designed with their needs in mind,
Right.
not just what adults think they need.
Yeah, that makes me think about, even if we figure out, the ethical stuff, the effectiveness,
Yeah.
there's still the question of access.
Oh, totally.
Not every school is going to have the resources to implement these kinds of technologies.
That's a really important point. Yeah. We need to make sure that these tools are actually available to all students, regardless of where they go to school or what their background is.
Otherwise, we're just widening the gap, right?
Exactly.
The schools that are struggling are going to fall further behind.
Right.
And the students that need the help the most, they're left out.
It's true. And that's why it's important to think about this from, more of a systemic perspective.
Yeah.
It's not just about individual schools or apps. It's about creating a system that supports all students.
Yeah, okay, so we've talked about a lot of the challenges here.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to shift gears for a second.
Sure.
What are some of the potential benefits? What could this look like if we actually get it right?
Well, imagine, if you will,
Right.
a world where every student has access to around-the-clock mental health support.
That would be...
Not just through chatbots, but through, a whole range of AI-powered tools
Okay.
that can personalize their experience.
Yeah, AI could, maybe help identify students that are struggling early on.
Exactly. Before things get really bad.
Yeah.
And then connect them with the right resources, whether that's, a human counselor or a support group or even just some helpful information online.
Yeah.
And it could also, help educators track students' progress,
Right.
help them identify patterns and intervene more effectively.
Yeah.
It could even be used to train teachers and staff on how to better support students' mental health.
Okay, so AI could be this incredible tool for prevention, intervention, and education.
Potentially.
Yeah. All at the same time.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about.
Yeah.
And it's not just about addressing, existing mental health problems. It's about promoting well-being for everyone.
Yeah.
Imagine AI helping students build resilience, manage their stress, and develop healthy coping mechanisms.
That's the dream, right? Create schools that are supportive environments where all students can thrive.
And I think AI can help us get there,
Yeah.
but it's going to take a lot of planning and collaboration and constant evaluation to make sure we're using it responsibly and ethically.
You know what? It feels like we're just getting started.
We are, yeah,
With this conversation, there's so much more to explore here.
absolutely. And it's a conversation that everyone needs to be a part of. So if you're listening, I encourage you to, do your own research, ask questions, and get involved.
This is not a spectator sport, folks.
Right.
We all have a role to play in this.
Yeah.
We're just scratching the surface here, really.
Oh, we are, yeah.
This field it's evolving so rapidly.
It is.
What we know today might be old news in
a year
or
or
two.
two.
And it's exciting and a little bit daunting,
Yeah.
We have this opportunity
Huge opportunity.
to really make a difference in these students' lives.
Yeah,
But, we also have a responsibility to get it right.
we do.
So I don't know, where do we go from here?
It's a big question.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things is starting to have these conversations more openly and honestly. We need to break down the stigma around mental health.
Right.
Create a culture where students feel comfortable, actually asking for help.
Yeah, and not only that, we need to equip educators with the knowledge and resources they need to support students effectively. You can't just expect teachers to be, mental health experts on top of everything else they have to do.
It's true. And we need to invest more in research.
Right.
We need to make sure these tools are working and being used ethically.
Yeah, it's almost like we need a whole new set of guidelines, like a new playbook.
Order playbook, yeah.
For how we approach, mental health in the age of AI.
We do. We need to be thinking about things like data privacy, algorithmic bias, access, equity.
Yeah, it's
complicated.
Complicated stuff.
It's not easy.
Yeah, but we have to start somewhere, right?
We do.
And I think just acknowledging that this is a conversation that we need to be having is a great first step.
It is. And I'm hopeful, I think if educators, researchers, policymakers, developers, the student, if we all work together, I think we can create a future where technology is used to empower and support all students.
Well said. This has been a fascinating deep dive, Amanda. I really appreciate your insights.
It's been a pleasure, Larry.
And to all of our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this journey. If you're as intrigued by the potential of AI in mental health as we are, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.